Good afternoon. Today is our theme, how to teach pronunciation. First, let's talk about pronunciation. Pronunciation is the way in which a word or language is spoken. This may refer to generally agreed upon sequences of sounds used in speaking a given word or language in a specific dialect, or simply the way a particular individual speaks a word or language.
There are 7 tips for teaching pronunciation. First tip, use phonics activities to teach pronunciation. One of the most common and easiest ways to teach pronunciation is through phonics. Phonics activities teach ESL students how to read and write by learning the individual sound of a letter or group of letters, vowels, and consonants when introducing them to reading. In addition, teaching phonetics is a fun and a creative way to teach pronunciation.
The second, use mouth position and a tongue twister to teach pronunciation. When teaching pronunciation, ensure you make pronunciation a physical class activity instead of a mental activity, and make sure your students practice and pronounce the words correctly. For example, show your students how to use their mouths to make the correct sound. Create and give exercises that focus on helping your students build a muscle memory. Another effective way to teach pronunciation is through combining collocations and the pronunciation.
The next tip, teaching minimal pairs. Minimal pairs are words or phrases that differ in only one sound and have distinct meanings. For example, lot and rot, lack and rack, low and raw, or let and red, and are minimal pairs. In addition to improving your students' pronunciation, minimal pairs also help your students expand their vocabulary.
The next, shadowing, is an excellent way to develop speaking fluency in English, particularly pronunciation. For example, ask your students to choose an audio recording no longer than 5 minutes. Before shadowing, they need to listen to the audio at least twice to get used to the speaker's accent, intonation, and pace. They need to shadow the speaker by repeating what the speaker says quickly and accurately.
The next tip, encourage your students to practice in front of a mirror. Practicing pronunciation in front of a mirror will help your students see their physical movements. You can also encourage your students to use Google pronunciation tools or look at your mouth and face as you pronounce certain sounds.
Next, use fun pronunciation games. When teaching pronunciation, be creative and fun, using engaging materials and activities such as syllables, snap, and word games. Additionally, encourage your students to use fun pronunciation games to reinforce pronunciation outside and in class.
The last, phoneme isolation. Phoneme isolation is also an excellent way to develop your students' phonemic awareness. To help your students improve their pronunciation, teach them how to isolate sounds. In conclusion, teaching pronunciation involves incorporating phonetic awareness, distinguishing sounds, stress, and intonation, listening and repetition, contextual practice, feedback, and the use of technology and resources. By following these steps and customizing your teaching to the needs of your students, you can help them improve their pronunciation skills and communicate more effectively in the language they are learning.